चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लाङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम्। नमयों विष्णुपादाय श्रीगौरप्रियमूर्तये श्रीमते भक्तिवल्लभतीर्थगोस्वामिनामिने। कृपया क्षमतामपराधिजनं कलुषायुतसक्तसुदीननरम् सुपथे परिचालय सर्वदिनं प्रणमामि च माधवदेवपदम्। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, chapter number 2. So, just a couple of days ago we heard Yamaraj, as a small boy, is giving instruction to the wives wives of the king Suyagya. He was the king of Ushinara kingdom. After the king was, killed in the battlefield, the wives were crying in lamentation. They were beating their chest in separation, and they were shouting that, "Why did you leave us? Please take us also along with you. What is the use of living without you in this world?" So, seeing that these persons are not leaving the dead husband to be burned, Yamaraj himself had personally come as a small boy and started giving instructions to them. So the last we heard was that the person who is living in a house is separate from the house, but because of his identification with the house, because of his ignorance, he identifies himself with the house, and whatever happens to the house, he thinks that it is happening to him only. In a similar manner, earth, water, fire, etc., which are the cause of this material body, will eventually, merge into the body. Merge into these earth, water, fire, etc. But Atma is separate from these. Atma is indestructible, whereas this earth, water, fire, etc., whatever has been formed out of these will again get destroyed. They get created and annihilated, but Atma is indestructible and eternal. Just like within the firewood there is fire, but yet it is separate from the wood. And just like the air seems to be within the nose and mouth, but the air is everywhere. And Akasha, the sky, also similarly is all pervasive, yet remains unattached or untouched by any other things. In a similar manner, although Atma is living in all the living entities, Atma remains untouched by any of these material things. Then further he says, my dear foolish persons, you see, for whom you have been lamenting so far is there right in front of you. You are lamenting for your dead husband, but that your husband is lying in front of you. What is the purpose of lamenting? Now if you say, no, the person who was speaking to us, the person who was hearing to us is not present now, then Yamaraj says that you have not seen him any time ever. The person who was speaking to you or who was listening to your words, you have not seen him ever. Therefore, of whom you have not seen before, there is no point in lamenting. And whom you have seen all these days, he is there in front of you. Therefore, your lamentation does not make any sense. Na shrota nanu vaktayam mukho apyatra mahanasuhu यस्त्रिहेन्द्रिय वानात्मा इंद्रिय वानात्मा स चान्यः प्राण देहयोः এই দেহে অবস্থিত মহান প্রাণ সকল ইন্দ্রিয় অপেক্ষা শ্রেষ্ঠ ও তাহাদের পরিচালক হইলেও তিনি শ্রোতা বা বক্তা নাহেন. There are life airs that are circulating in the body. We are taking respiration inside and we are leaving outside. There is pranavayu, there is this life air that is there. This life is superior to the sense organs because the sense organs are nourished by the life air. If the life air itself is missing, just like for a dead body also there are eyes, there are ears, there are nose, but the ears, nose, eyes, etc. are not activate or in an animated state because the life itself is gone. Therefore, the life is superior to the sense organs. But yet, this life is not the cause of hearing or speaking. The life air is not the cause of hearing or speaking because it is not making anyone animated. It is just supplying. The life air is supplying, just like the oxygen is being supplied to the body. That is what it is doing, that's all. But it is not making the person speak or hear. Because that which makes the living entity speak or hear is Atma, not even the life air. As long as the consciousness is present, it is possible. Karan tini achetan, because that life air is also unconscious. Unconscious means is matter, is inert. Indriya saha sambandha vishishta atmai sakal vishaye drashta. Actually, Atma, the soul, is the one that is seeing. He is the seer. The soul is the seer. Kintu oy Atma pran o deha hoite bhinna evang chetana swarup. That Atma is separate from the life and separate from the sense organ, separate from the body. and it is conscious. Atma is a conscious principle, whereas this life air or sense organs, the body, etc., they are all inert substances. Inert matter by itself cannot hear, speak, or do any activity. Thinking, willing, and doing, feeling and doing, all the three come from consciousness only. Thinking, thought process, this, that, or whatever. Feeling, there is a feeling of, let's say, ants crawling on us, or mosquitoes biting us, or whatever. All this feeling is also possible for a conscious being only. For a dead person, even if the jackals are eating the dead person, he is not realizing. But even a small ant is, crawling. Not even ants, sometimes even the small spiders, even less in weight than the ants, when they also crawl, you will immediately realize something is happening because of the presence of the conscious thing. So, the conscious principle is totally different from this inert substance. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes in the commentary, যদি বলেন যতক্ষণ প্রাণ থাকে ততক্ষণেই শুনিতে ও বলিতে দেখা যায়, কিন্তু দেহ হইতে প্রাণ চলিয়া গেলে নাহে, অতএব প্রাণেই শ্রোতা ও বক্তা। ইহার উত্তরে বলিতেছেন না ইত্যাদি। অর্থাৎ দেহে ইন্দ্রিয়ের কর্ম সাধক যে মুখ্য প্রাণ তিনিও বক্তা বা শ্রোতা নয়। If one were to say, no, it is actually the life air that is the cause of hearing and speaking. The moment the life air is gone, the hearing and speaking stops. Then in the answer to that, it is no. It is not the life air, because life air is also not the one that activates the sense organs. It supplies, but it does not activate. Shrutite ukto ache मुख्यो अपि प्राणो वै मुख्यः, अर्थात मुख्य प्राणो प्रधान कारण नहे। महान बोलिते सकल इंद्रियेर चेष्टार कारण जे मुख्य प्राण ताहाउ श्रोता व वक्ता नहे, जेहेतु हा अचेतन ए भाव। बिकॉज दैट इज ऑल्सो प्राण, द लाइफ एयर इज ऑल्सो inert. It's an inert matter, it's not conscious thing. It cannot by itself make any desire, any activity, because as long as the consciousness is there, the life air, we are we are taking the respiration, we are breathing in, breathing out. This is happening as long as there is consciousness that is making it do. But the life air in itself is not the cause of activating the sense organs, because it is achetana, it is inert. Taha hoile ke shrota evam vakta, then who is the speaker or the listener? উহার উত্তরে বলিতেছেন यस्तु ইহা ইন্দ্রিয়বান, যিনি দেহ ইন্দ্রিয়াদি যুক্ত বলিয়া প্রতীত আত্মা অর্থাৎ জীব, তিনি ওই প্রাণ ও ইন্দ্রিয়াদি হইতে পৃথক। That is none other than jiva, the living entity or the soul, which is different from the life as well as from the sense organs from the body. Tini chetana, he is conscious principle, अर्थात अचेतन प्राण देह होते चेतन आत्मा पृथक. So you have to understand that the conscious principle is always separate from the unconscious matter, the unconscious life, the inert substance, inert matter, inert sense organs, inert body. The life is always, the Atma, conscious principle is always separate from all these things. Means Atma is never touched by any of these things. Atma is a principle that is totally different from all these things. It is actually the mind that is making the interaction possible with this material world. Why Atma, which is untouched by the body or untouched by other things, why is it going from one body to other body? If it is totally different from the matter, then why there is repeated birth and death? Why is this conditioning happening? Because the mind is the interacting principle. The impressions of the mind, as long as it is there, the living entity, the Jivatma, is bound by the karma. So, this mind is making the living entity transmigrate from one species to other species. That is why at the time of liberation, it is the liberation of the mind. Atma is never can be called as liberated. Atma is never liberated or conditioned. It is Atma is totally away from matter. You cannot say that Atma is liberated. It is the mind that gets liberated or bound. And that mind is the interacting principle, that Sukshma body, the subtle body, the covering on the Atma is the one that is transmigrating the living entity from one body to other body. And our Bhaktivinoda Thakur in one of his prayers he says, Linga Bhanga Hoy Anayase. By chanting of the holy name, this subtle body will be destroyed, annihilated. Means it will be purified. There is also mind in pure conscious state. It's called Chitta. It's pure conscious state. In the Brajavasis also it is there. But that is a purified mind. That mind which is now spiritual, it's not material. Now in the current state, Bhumi Rapo Analo Vayu Kham Mana Buddhirevacha. Mind, is termed as a material thing by Supreme Lord Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Mind is material, matter. But the same mind, by constant chanting of Krishna's name, by performing service to Krishna and the servants of Krishna, when the mind is purified, in the purified mind is nothing but the mind is liberated. And it is purified and it becomes a conscious thing. Conscious means it's spiritual thing, no more material. भूतेन्द्रिय मनोलिंगान देहान उच्चावचान विभुः भजत्युत्सृजति ही अन्यस्तचापि स्वेन तेजसा पंचभूत दश इंद्रिय एवं मन एक ऐटी अवयव विशिष्ट लिंग शरीर के आत्मा उत्कृष्ट और निकृष्ट सकल देहेर सहित संबंध युक्त कराइया थाकेन एवं स्वरूप अवस्थित स्वकीय तेजेर द्वारा अर्थात भजन बले ताहा त्याग करें भजन बल बा अनुभवी इहार प्रमाण. Just now whatever I said is there in the next verse actually. The five sense organs, the five material elements, the 10 sense organs and the mind, these are the one that comprise the linga sharira, this material body. The five material elements, 10 sense organs and the mind. Atma utkrishta, but Atma is above this linga sharira or this subtle and the gross body. The subtle and gross body are matter, whereas Atma is the conscious thing. That Atma is separate and above these five material elements. Apareyam itaratastu anye prakritim vidhime param jivabhutam mahabaho yayedam dharyate jagat. The Lord is telling that apart from these five material elements, the mind, intelligence and ego, there is another potency of mind, my dear Arjuna, from which Jiva Bhutam, the living entity, emanates. Yayedam dharyate jagat, and because of him, the entire world is getting animated. If all dead matters come together, then there is no thinking, willing and doing. There is no action. Nothing is possible. All dead matters. In a house, you keep all the furniture, everything is there. Do they interact with each other? Are they capable of doing anything? Nothing. They are just lying there as dead matter. But a conscious principle, when he moves the object from this to this, any change that you see in a house is because of the presence of conscious principle. By painting, by moving the furniture from this side direction to that direction, or bringing newer things in this manner, the change in that particular house or in a room comes due to the existence of a conscious person. Because of the thinking, willing and doing is there in the conscious entity. In a similar manner, the 5 material elements, the mind and the 10 sense organs by themselves are inert, and Atma is totally different from these elements. उत्कृष्ट और निकृष्ट सकल देहेर सहित संबंध युक्त कराई यथा क्या. And there are different bodies. The body of insects, the body of birds, the body of aquatics, body of animals, beasts, humans, demigods. There are different bodies. Now these interaction with these bodies are possible by the action of these 5 material elements, the mind and the 10 sense organs. Atma, which is completely separate from all these things, is transmigrating from one lower species to the higher species, whatever it is, due to the interactions of the mind with this world. Therefore, the mind is said to be the cause of bondage. Mind is also the cause of liberation. The mind is our greatest enemy if it is uncontrolled. Mind is our best friend if it is controlled. Therefore, there is no enemy or there is no friend outside us. It is within ourselves there is that enemy and friend. That is nothing but the mind. The mind makes one our enemy, the mind makes one our friend, because the mind is in a conditioned state. Whereas for the pure devotees, the mind, everyone is his friend. Everyone is an object of his worship. Nobody is his enemy. That is why, he is called as, Ajata Shatru. For a pure devotee, there is no enemy. Enemy is not born. Because he sees Hridam Sarvabhutanam. Krishna is the well-wisher of all the living entities. Similarly, his devotees, pure devotees, are also well-wishers of all living entities. Because their mind is no more material, there are no material desires, there is no material motivation for the mind. एवं स्वरूप अवस्थित स्वकीय तेजेर द्वारा अर्थात भजन बले ताहा त्याग करें. And Atma by his own power. What is the power? Through the power of devotion, one gets, delivered from this transmigration. One is when Atma is bound by the mind, then there is transmigration. The same when Atma's power, by the self power of Atma, what is that power? Devotion. Devotion is the power of Atma. When that becomes prominent, then mind and other things cannot have any influence on the Atma. Bhajanabal ba anubhavi ihar praman. It is only by the strength of bhajan or by realization it can be experienced or it can be understood. The pure devotees, we see that they are not bound by karmic activities because their mind is not matter, their mind is fully spiritual and conscious. Because of that, we can see that their activities are totally in a different platform. By such experience, by such realization, we can understand the power of Atma. Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes in the commentary, তাহা হইলে সেই আত্মা সম্প্রতি কোথায় গিয়া কি করিতেছে? Now, if the wives of the Suyagya were to ask this boy, you are telling that Atma is separate from the body, this is just the body lying here. Where is the Atma of our husband now? Where is it gone? If they were to ask this question, তাহাতে বলিতেছেন ভূতেন্দ্রিয় ইত্যাদি প্রাপ্ত হইয়াছে ইন্দ্রিয় ও মনোরূপ লিঙ্গ বলিতে সূক্ষ্ম শরীর যেখানে তাদৃশ স্থূল দেহ লাভ করে এবং ত্যাগ করাইয়া থাকে যেমন এই দেহ প্রাপ্ত হইয়া ত্যাগ করিয়াছে এই ভাব। So where is Atma of our husband? The reply is, you see, the Atma is covered by the mind, the sense organs and the 10 material elements. Being bound by them, wherever they have taken him, where will they take? Depending on what activities he has performed, he has been taken to some other place and then he will die there also, just like what has happened now. He has come due to his past some karmas in this kingly body, and now he is gone. In a similar manner, whatever activities he has done now are going to dictate his future birth, and there also he will die and then he will go to some other. Till one's power of Atma has not arisen. Power of Atma means devotion. Till the person has not performed devotion, this will continue to happen. As long as Atma is subdued by the powers of the mind, subdued meaning, when one follows the dictations of the mind, then he has to follow wherever the mind takes. But when Atma becomes, powerful, it is powerful, but when Atma, takes recourse to bhakti, then the mind doesn't have to be followed. The mind will follow the Atma. आरु स्वेन तेजसा स्वकीय तेजेर द्वारा अर्थात सौभाग्यवशत यदि ज्ञान लाभ करे ताहार प्रभावे, if by some good fortune when one gets this intelligence, knowledge of the self, because so long as we are thinking we are the body, we are supplying our material needs to the body, to the mind, etc. But with good intelligence, when one comes to know that one is not all this, one is Atma, then the Atma Vritti, the nature of the self will get evolved. When will that happen? Brahmanda Brahmite kono bhagyavan jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. While wandering in this material world, from one birth to another, from one place to another, Kono Bhagyavan Ji, one great soul, if one comes in contact with, and a not fortunate soul, when comes in contact with Guru and Krishna, then Bhakti Lata Bij, he will get the seed of devotion. So, after getting the seed of devotion, one practices the spiritual activities, then slowly he gets established on the knowledge of the self, and the mind, the sense organs, the material elements don't have any power to dictate his further activities. তাহার প্রভাবে এই লিঙ্গ দেহ কখনো পরিত্যাগ করে, অর্থাৎ বিবেক বলে ভজনের দ্বারা দেহ ভাব ত্যাগ করিয়া মোক্ষ লাভ করে, means by the influence of the Atma's power, one will give up the linga deha, means the subtle body. The gross and subtle bodies are completely finished by when one's power of Atma is awakened, or you can say when one's Atma is awakened. यावल लिंगान्वितो ह्यात्मा तावत् कर्म निबंधनम ततो विपर्ययः क्लेशो माया योगो अनुवर्तते। आत्मा যে পর্যন্ত লিঙ্গ শরীরের সহিত সম্বন্ধযুক্ত থাকে সেই পর্যন্তই তাহার কর্মবন্ধন থাকে। Till the point Atma is related to the subtle body, only till the time there is bondage of karma. One is bound by karma as long as he is bound by the linga sharira or the subtle body. সেই বন্ধনজন্য অবিদ্যাবশতঃ বিপর্যয় রূপ ক্লেশ তাহার অনুবর্তন করে। And because of that bondage, when the mind is in trouble, when the body is in trouble, the person thinks, I am also in trouble. Even though he is separate from the body, even though he is not the mind, I am not the mind, I am not the body, but still because my Atma is completely, because of ignorance, my Atma is totally, bound by or due to the misconception that I am the mind or I am the body, my troubles or to the body are considered as my troubles. Just like previously we heard the example, a person living in the house, when he considers that the house is he himself, then anything happens to the house is like, he's getting troubled by it. Car, I purchased a car, I purchased a bike, and anything happens to the car, any scratch on the car or any, disturbance in my vehicle or anything, it will immediately affect me because my identification is with that particular object. In a similar manner, as long as there is a covering of mind on the Atma, till the time there is karma bandhan, there is bondage in this material world of the karma. वितथो अभिनिवेशो अयम यद गुणेश्वर्थ दुग्वचः यथा मनोरथ स्वप्नः सर्वम ऐन्द्रियकम मृषा। गुण और गुणकार्य सुख दुख प्रभृति के वास्तव वस्तु रूपे दर्शन और व्याख्या करा निष्फल। जागृत अवस्थाय मने मने राज्यादि सुखानुभव और स्वप्नावस्थाय स्त्री संभोगादि जे रूप अवास्तव तद्रूप इंद्रिय संबंधी सुखादि कल्पना हो अलीक। You see, the modes of material nature and the activities of modes of material nature, they give sukha and dukkha, happiness and distress. Vastav vasturup darshan or vyakhya kora nishfal, but they are not eternal, or they are not, you can say, real. They are not real because the sense or the modes of material nature cannot have influence on the Atma directly. Modes of material nature, there are the 24 principal elements and pradhana. Atma is separate from that. 5 material sense organs, working sense organs, 5 knowledge acquiring sense organs, 5 material elements, and what else? 15, the mind, 16, and 5 objects of the sense organs, 21, and what else? Man already counted. Buddhi, ahankar, which is 23, and the 24th is the what is it called? Not Prakriti. I'm forgetting the word for it. These are the 24 elements, but these 24 elements are separate from Atma. Atma is separate from all these 24 elements. The three modes of material nature, sattva, rajas, tama, they can act on these material elements but not on Atma.
Atma is untouchable.
Yes, Atma is totally separate from these 24 elements. The modes of material nature, they can interact with these 24 material elements, but not with the Atma. Atma is spiritual, by nature spiritual. The spiritual object cannot be influenced by the three modes of material nature. But because of the three modes of material nature's interaction and activity, sometimes there is happiness and distress, not to the Atma, but to the mind. But it cannot be called as factual because it is not actually the happiness and distress created by the modes of material nature, it cannot be called as factual. Just like an example is given, when we are awake, in an awakened state, I am thinking that, oh, I am going to become this minister, I am going to become king, or I am going to become this or that. This kind of, illusion. And in the night, we are dreaming, oh, I am in the middle of so many women, I am enjoying women in the dream. This all, actually there is no existence of it. But I am seeing a deluded state I am in. An example our Brahmaji has given in his prayers. Swapnabham astadishanam purudukka dukkam tasmadidam jagadashesham asat sarupam swapnabham astadishanam purudukka dukkam. He is telling that tasmadidam jagad ashesham asat sarupam, this whole world is temporary. Asat sarupam, the whole world is temporary. Swapnabham, it's like a dream. Astadishanam purudukka dukkam, and constantly it is giving pains. Just like in a dream, sometimes we become happy, sometimes we become distressed. But after the dream is broken, we will immediately realize, oh, that was a dream, nothing to really worry about. That was a dream, not factual. In a similar manner, during the daytime also we are dreaming. What is the dream? This body is not eternal. The relations are not eternal. In the day we are thinking, oh, he is my husband, she is my wife, he is my son, she is my daughter, this is my mother, this is my friend, this is my enemy. This is also dream. When that is broken, when will that be broken? When I am situated in Atma, I will see, oh, all these relations are material relations. They are not factual. Just like after we wake up from the dream, we realize that, oh, whatever I saw was just a dream. It is not existing, but it was just a dream. In a similar manner, a person whose consciousness has awakened, he will immediately realize, oh, so far I have been foolishly spending my life thinking that here is my wife, here is my husband, here is this, here is that, but these are all temporary. These are all in an deluded state, not factual. I will realize this. So one is the night dream and other is the daydream. But ultimately we are dreaming whole life. In the night dream we are realizing it to be illusion, but the daydream we are thinking to be factual, real, but it is not. Both are dreams only. This only a person whose consciousness has awakened, he can realize this. We will just complete the purport to this. Ataiva tomrau karma bandhana moksher nimittai jatnashil hao. Therefore, you also try to become free from karma. This is what the small boy Yama, a small boy, is telling. By his karma, he has taken birth as a king, and now his karma is finished. He has gone to some other place. Therefore, karma, the mind is bonding us. For you also become free from the bondage of karma. Kintu karma fall je swarga tahar nimitta nahe. No, not to attain heavenly planets. Don't perform activities, karmas, to attain heavenly planets. Karan वैषयिक सुख और दुख अचिरस्थायी बोलिया उहा स्वप्न तुल्य, because that's like a dream. Means for some time it will be there. Dream will last only for some time. Similarly, you are attaining Swarga planet, heavenly planet will also stay for some time. That dream will also break one day. It will be finished. Why is it called a dream? As long as you are not on the real position, platform, it is a dream. Means any platform other than the platform of Atma is like a dream. Means illusion, not factual, not real. अर्थात व्यर्थई এই अभिनिवेश, कौन अभिनिवेश ताते बोलतेছেন यद गुणेषु যাহা गुणकर्म যে সুখাদি गुणकार्य যে সুখাদি তাহা अर्थ বলতে বাস্তব, এইরূপ দৃষ্টি ও বাক্য মিথ্যা। যেমন উক্ত হইয়াছে আমরা সোমরস পান করিয়া अमर হইব এবং অপ্সরাসাগণের সহিত বিহার করিব ইত্যাদি বাক্য। Just like I will become immortal by drinking nectar. I will go to heavenly planets and enjoy the beautiful women in heavenly planets. All these things are not real. They are all temporary. Not real means they are only due to the influence of the karma on you. But when you are situated on the platform of Atma, then you will immediately realize that so insignificant they are. Our Raghunath Das Goswami, in his Manashiksha, he writes, as soon as I get a thought of associating with women, immediately I spit on that thought. Means I cannot even tolerate that thought. Whereas for us, associating with women is wow, so nice. It's like we are hankering for it. But Raghunath Das Goswami is saying that I spit at the very idea of associating. Why? Because one is a dreaming state and other is a real state. In the dreaming state, we think that this is factual, this is our life, this is how we should live. But when we are situated on a higher platform, immediately we realize how insignificant was it, how foolish I was. Sometimes even we are little advanced in devotion and we turn back and see what we did some 5 years, 10 years ago. How could I even do that? How blind I was, how foolish I was, because our consciousness has evolved little further. So I could very much unappreciate or totally get dejected to, or with particular idea of what I did in the past, I would totally get annoyed. Why did I do that? How come I did that in the past? Because of the evolution of the consciousness that we have. In a similar manner, those who are situated on the platform of Atma, for them they are totally out of this unreal world or unreal dreams. जागृत अवस्थाएं मनोरथेर द्वारा उपनीत धन और पुत्रादि लाभ जनित आनंदेर और स्वप्ने स्त्री संभोगादि सुखेर एवं स्वर्ग सुखेर तुल्यत्व हेतु यही अर्थ समस्त इंद्रिय ग्राह्य यही जगत मिथ्याई. So whatever dream, whether it is in the day or in the night, whether it is about enjoying in the daytime or whatever we are seeing in the dream in the night and enjoying in the mind, everything is temporary, it does not last long, it is not real. Therefore, in one sense, what he is telling is that this is my husband is dead in the war and he is no more. All this is nothing but imaginary world, temporary world or unreal world. The real world is Atma. Okay, we'll continue tomorrow. I think he gives one example of one history in the past, Yamaraj, and then explains this further. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya eva cha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग गांधर्विका गिरिधारी श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन पंचतत्वात्मक श्री गौर हरि की जय। परमाराधितम पतित पावन स्तोत्र सत श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति वल्लभ तीर्थ गोस्वामी श्री गुरु महाराज की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्टोम विष्णुपाद परमहंस स्तोत्र सत श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति दयित माधव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। जगत गुरु श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री श्री रूपानुग गुरुवर्ग की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ षड गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की जय। श्री कृष्ण द्वैपायन वेदव्यास महामुनि की जय। श्री सुखदेव गोस्वामी एवं परीक्षित महाराज की जय। समागत भागवत श्रवणकारी भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री हरिनाम प्रभु की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल।